Videography is a very important part of real estate marketing. And with the increasing number of options out there for high quality video production kits, it has become even more accessible to shoot your very own beautiful real estate videos. Today, we'll be looking at 2 different kits at 2 different price points in order to show you what's out there so you can create your very own real estate video. We've had the brilliant opportunity to work with Belle Property today and provide them with a real estate video, and we're here with Chris, who's going to tell us about why video is so important for real estate marketing.
We find that video is really important because if buyers can't come to the property, if they live overstate or overseas, they can get to see more of the property than what we can show in floor plans and the photos.
Awesome. And what can you tell us about this amazing property that we're in today?
Yeah, this is a beautiful Federation home in Camero. It's on a corner block overlooking Green Park. You've got some cafes around the corner and it's very easy to get to the CBD.
Sweet, thank you so much. So we're going to go set up the equipment right now so we can start shooting around the house, and we'll catch up with Chris in a bit. Today we'll be flying both of our cameras on gimbals, the GH5 II on the Ronin S2 and the G100 on the Manfrotto MVG220. It's important before you turn on your gimbal that your pan, roll and tilt are all balanced. Before you turn on your gimbal, make sure that everything's locked nice and tight in place so nothing comes loose, otherwise that could spell disaster for you. All right. So now we're all balanced and ready to shoot. We're about to shoot our first room. I have the GH5 II set up on the Ronin S2. Just a little bit of a thing on settings. Right now I'm shooting in 4K at 50 frames per second, just so I'll have room to slow down the footage in post if I need, and 4K gives me room to reframe if needed. I'm also shooting in Vlog, so I can maximize the dynamic range out of my camera to minimize the chance that highlights might blow out through the windows. We're shooting today on the 8-18 Leica f2.8-4 lens, so we can get a nice wide angle to show off the space. All right, let's get started. We're about to go in and shoot the master bedroom. Just a quick tip, it's always worth having practicals such as fans or lamps turned on in the house so the house looks just that bit more lively. I just wanted to talk quickly about some tips on camera movement. Try to keep the camera at around eye height so roofs don't look too low and furniture doesn't look too big. I've also been using very basic camera moves such as push-ins and moving across, because the goal of the video isn't to show off your camera skills, but to show off the property in its fullest. Now that we're in the kitchen, I just wanted to quickly highlight that it's always nice to show off features of the house that may be being sold with the house. For example, this nice gas burner stovetop and this nice oven. We're going to grab footage of those now so we can add them into our highlights reel. Now that we've wrapped up all of our interior shots and the sun has come out a little, it's a great opportunity to get some exterior shots and some aerial shots. Aerial shots are a great way to establish the scale of the property and to show where it's situated in the neighborhood. Today, we have in the entry-level kit the DJI Mini 2, a small yet powerful drone giving you 4K 30 frames per second or 2.7K at up to 60. We'll be using the 2.7K at 50 frames per second, so we have room to slow down in post. In the Pro level kit, we have the new DJI Air 2S, giving you 5.4K video at 30 frames per second and 4K video at up to 60. Today, we'll be using the 4K at 50 frames per second, so of course, we can slow down the footage in post. great thing about the camera in the entry-level kit is if I wanted to upgrade to pro-level lenses, such as this 7-14 f4, this camera is still compatible with them. What's more is this gimbal will support the extra weight. If you want more information about this gimbal, there's a video on it on our YouTube channel. Now that we've stepped outside, it's important to change the settings of the camera to match the outside environment. I've changed my white balance to 5600K, so it matches daylight white balance. And if you need to tone down your exposure, you can put variable NDs on the front of your lens. If you don't have those, you can always stop down your aperture to around f11 or f13, which gives you a deeper depth of field and lowers your exposure. We've caught back up with Chris and we're about to shoot his piece to camera. Right now we're going to shoot his piece to camera, introducing the property and highlighting all its features inside. So we're using this Explorer RGB LED light. If you were to shoot outside, you want to make sure that the sun isn't doing you dirty, so your property agent isn't squinting into the sun. You can check this using an app like Sun Surveyor so you can see the position of the sun depending on what time of day, or you can wait for a cloudy, overcast day so the lighting is nice and even. So right now I'm going to mic Chris up with this Boya lapel kit and we're gonna get rolling. We're all set up to shoot Chris's piece to camera. We're going to be shooting this on the G100 with the 12-32 f3.5 to 5.6 lens and on the Manfrotto 190X with an MHX Pro 2W head. All right, let's get into it.
This property is at 10 Warwick Avenue in Camaret. It's on a great corner position opposite Green Park where you've got tennis courts. There's some great cafes just around the corner and then you're about 2 minutes up to Camaret Village.
Now that we've shot Chris's piece to camera with the entry-level kit, we're now going to move on to shooting with the pro-level kit. So we've got the GH52 set up on the Manfrotto 190X sticks with an MVH 500AH video head, and we're using the Leica 8-18 f2.8 to f4 lens. We're also going to be using the Rode Wireless Go 2, and we're filling the room with 2 of these Manfrotto Lycos bicolor lights. These will all be included in the pro level kit. All right, let's get into it.
This beautiful property is at 10 Warwick Avenue, Camaret. It's a freestanding house on a 442 square meter block. The corner position actually overlooks Green Park and it's very close to cafes, shops and the Camaret Village with easy access to the CBD.
Now that we've gathered all of our footage, it's time to sit down and edit. So we've already imported all of our footage onto our computer and we've opened it up in our editing software of choice. I've already created a 1080p 25 frames per second timeline so I can crop and rescale the 4K footage and slow down the footage that we shot in 50 frames per second. So as you'll notice, all of our footage is neatly arranged in these nice folders so we can easily find everything when we need it. Your folder structure should look somewhat like this. Find something that works for you as long as it's organized. So we're going to start dragging some clips into sequence so we can start putting something together. There are 2 things that will really help you pace your video: music and your property agent's piece to camera. In terms of music, it's always good to find a royalty-free music licensing website. We're using Epidemic Sound because it's got plenty of options and plenty of genres, but there are plenty of other options out there. Back to your property agent's piece to camera, as you can see, I've already dragged Chris's piece to camera into the timeline. It's always good to listen back to this piece to camera and see if there are any features of the property that your property agent is highlighting and finding the appropriate footage to overlay on top of that. As you may remember, we shot all of our footage on the GH5 in Vlog, which means that all of the footage in our timeline is going to look very flat and washed out, which means that we need to apply a LUT. A LUT, or a lookup table, is simply a color grading preset. So we're going to quickly apply that now. And as you can see, the footage already looks much better. I'm also going to do some basic correction. So I think that the highlights look too hot here. I'm also going to bring up the shadows and bring up the contrast. Now that we've colored all of our footage, it's time to look at audio. When you're looking at your audio, it's important to make sure that your music isn't overpowering your property agent's voice, or your property agent's voice isn't too loud and drowning everything else out. So we're gonna go in and re-level all of our clips and make sure that everything is at the appropriate volume. Belle Property has provided us their logo and brand kit to use in this video. It's important when you shoot your real estate video to also ask for these. Now, what's also important is an engaging title sequence. There's plenty of templates out there online, but we're going to go ahead and create our very own. Now that our video is completed, we're going to be getting it ready to export. So we're going to be using Premiere Pro's 1080p export preset. Whatever editing software that you're using should have its very own export presets.
This beautiful property is at 10 Warwick Avenue, Camaret. The block is 442 square meters. It's a level block with a lawn at the rear with a garage and driveway. The area itself it's situated in is opposite Green Park, very close to cafes. It's a short walk to Camaret Village, which has got express buses to the CBD. It's also easy access driving out and onto the freeway to the CBD or towards Chatswood and Newcastle. If you've got any questions on this property or would like to arrange an inspection, please contact myself, Chris Davies, or my colleague Helen Wilson at Belle Property, Camaret.
Quickly, before we move on, it's giveaway time. You could be one of 5 winners of either this road hat, this sweet road mug, or one of 3 sweet road shirt designs. All you have to do is visit our Instagram and find the post detailing the giveaway. And now, back to me. That brings us to the end of today's video. If you need any more information on the products mentioned today, they're linked in the description. What's your experience with real estate videography? We'd love to know. Leave us a comment down below. If you found this video entertaining or informative, drop us a like and consider subscribing. As always, follow us on Instagram for the latest in tech updates, gear news, and giveaways. Thanks heaps for watching and happy shooting.